Oh shit, that's right. We're doing this testimony, aren't we? That's a lie right there, Mrs. Satme. You happened to find these in your office earlier. How mysterious. What are those letters? Those are letters written by the victim and addressed towards the witness. Well, I've never seen those in my life. Witness, you will have to respond. You obviously knew about Mr. Butts. Oh, my apologies. That may indeed have been the case. However, don't misunderstand. These letters change nothing. While they do reveal his name, I could not have known they referred to this particular Larry. Larry! Please recall that the letters were situated in the trash bin. If they meant anything to me, I would not simply dispose of them like that, correct? Let alone in a location such as that, where it is easy to spot. From that, it should be fairly easy to conclude that I classified their meaning as insignificant. I simply regarded them as a letter, a random admirer, or stalker. As you can see, these letters don't harm my claim in the slightest. Don't do that, witness. If you want to elaborate, do it in normal speed. I suppose that accusation went nowhere. Can we get back to the testimony now? Oh no, we're not done? Can't we read out those letters to the court? Objection! The defense highly suggests against this for the sake of everyone's health. Sustained, I guess. Continue with your testimony, Mrs. Satme. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. We're back. We're not free. We're not free. Oh, God. What do we do now? Objection! We present the written challenge here. You're still denying it? I'm sorry, but we have found this letter written by you. This is hardly deniable. Oh. Don't owe me. Just be a woman and admit it. I was simply realizing the mistake I made. I assumed you were able to question obvious matters like this. I technically did and simply tried anyways. Sure, this letter would be evidence, but that would only be true if it was really me who wrote it. Now, even if the Luna in this letter most unmistakably refers to me because of the victim's behavior, there's still the chance that somebody faked this letter. It is typed, I am sure, would have said so if there were any fingerprints. If we discard these uncertain points, we're simply left the letter written by someone. And sadly, this is too fragile to actually reveal anything. Mia, calm down. No key smashing. I'm normally very tolerant, but this prosecutor and this witness... Haven't we all seen worse? I'm really not too sure about that anymore. Suppose I may proceed then, for now. There's still a lot I just have to tell you. By all means, go ahead. This is gold. It really is. No! We're at it again! I can't escape! There is no escape! Help! Ah! Now what do we do? Oh god. Oh god. The obvious answer here. We wouldn't have a motive. We have the third letter from Larry. Objection! The one that talked about revealing a secret. Now their motive would be quite obvious. Larry did not want to keep quiet about it, and you did not want that to be exposed to the world. True, that's something I would have liked to avoid. However, you should realize that the entirety of that reasoning is based on the premise that I had an affair in the first place, which is something you have yet to prove. Now, seeing how that premise is false, your idea for motive crumbles as well. The only way for you to actually apply it would be to prove that I actually had that affair. Once you somehow manage to do that, my claim isn't damaged in the least. Witness is correct. That sort of motive would only work if you could prove the rest. Didn't help at all. Is there no way to actually prove it? You seem to slowly realize your mistakes in accusing me of something like that. I suppose I'll have to repeat my testimony once again. Somehow, there has to be a way to get her, right? Enough. This won't lead anywhere. There seems to be no way to actually prove the connection between Mrs. Atme and the victim. Your Honor. Took you long enough to realize that. Good job. I think we're about even now. Is it my turn to waste time again? There won't be another testimony from this witness. It wouldn't lead anywhere. Mrs. Fay, you were unable to connect this witness with the victim or that crime. I think you'd resort to stalling techniques like that. I'm disappointed. Is this it? It's now or never. What's the matter? Nothing else to say? Who's next? Who are we gonna have some fun with next? Come on. Just as I said, all these accusations were absolutely baseless. Mrs. Fay, you still claim that the witness had an affair with Mr. Butts and is connected to this crime. I do hope I don't have to elaborate on the consequences of baseless defamation. I'd say it'd be the end of your career as an attorney. Darn, this is risky. Is there really no way to connect her to this crime? Well, Mrs. Fay, your answer? Defense. We can retract, or we can keep going. Be that as we have a save point. Keep going. Think I just give up? I could prove that you had something to do with this. Well, if that isn't a brave claim, you really got some courage there. Will that courage help you to get a turnabout? I doubt it. Mrs. Fay, you are a fool that does not know where to stop. Very well then. You still claim that this woman does indeed have something to do with our case. Prove it.
Take that!
I got you. This is going to get rid of you, you witch. You're right. And just what is it that you intend to present? This piece of evidence will prove that you had that affair. And it will also explain everything else about this case. And it will prove that you're the real murderer. Who, how, and why will be explained in one swift blow. Why didn't you present it right away then? Is that a confession? Obviously not. Okay, I was just bluffing. Judgy, finish him. I'm a woman. And, that was only a little joke to lighten the atmosphere. Not done yet. Here's my real final piece of evidence. Denied. You screwed up. You should be glad Platinum is that awesome. Death count 1. And we revive. So we're on endless mode. We're going to retract our accusation. Well, Mrs. Fay, have you realized your inferiority? It's no use. You wouldn't get away with trying to keep these claims up. The defense retracts the claim that Mrs. Atme had an affair with the victim. I see. A reasonable choice. And no progress has been made. Well then. Cross-examination of Mrs. Atme is officially over. I see. It was an honor. You are welcome at any time. Hey, booby lady. What's next? What will you do now? What will you do now? Tell me. Your line of reasoning ends here. You can't prove crap at all. Seems like things just didn't connect in the end, and we all know why. Just admit that your defendant is guilty already. We've wasted enough time already. I see no room for doubt regarding the facts. There was no possible scenario in which Mr. Berg isn't the killer. His testimony contained lies. Therefore, there is nothing left to discuss.
Objection!
Time for us to change tack. Nah. Someone is apparently completely insane here. Mrs. Fay, there is nothing left to discuss. You have already failed to discover anything. I will not allow you to waste time with yet another witness. Forget it. So it has come to this. This is my only chance to let the trial continue. If I make a mistake here, this will be it. I'm aware that you do not intend to let me waste time with another witness. Another unrelated witness, however. What would you do if I said that the person I am intending to call is the true murderer? What? Oh wow, here it comes. Great Mia Fay's downfall. Think you've got it all figured out, huh? You think you'd really pull a Holmes here? Well then, you'll only get this one shot. Are you hesitating now? Come on, show me. Show me how insane you've really gone already. The person I'm going to call is the real murderer. I'm going to prove it. Mrs. Fay, are you sure about this? You should be aware of the consequences of yet another false accusation. I didn't really accuse anybody that strongly so far, but, well... You ever think you can do this? Aren't we pretty much clueless as well? It's not like I have much of a choice at this point. At least I'll go down fighting. Well, maybe it's possible to figure something out if we think about this thoroughly. Hey, we're waiting. Stop the chit-chat and get to the point already. Accuse somebody of the murder and have fun failing to actually prove it. To all the all-or-nothing situations I've been in during my career, this one is taking the crown. And don't think you can go, oh, I'm gonna retract this again later on. So what are you waiting for? Shoot it! Everything I've learned so far, there has to be a superior solution hidden somewhere. This is the moment I have to find it. Very well, I'll show you who's the killer. This person. This person is who killed Larry. Well, realistically, we only have 3 choices. Wait, where did I... Come back here. That's the scene I wanted. It's not Luna. I think we can safely rule out Maria. We can say Phoenix Wright, Miles Edgeworth, or Luke. We can accuse Hosma for shits and giggles, but we're just gonna die. In fact, let's accuse Hosma for shits and giggles.
Take that!
It's you, Prosecutor Hosma. Oh, yeah, exactly. You did well in remembering that confession from earlier. You see, that alone obviously isn't gonna cut it. Let me ask, how did I do it? Where's your evidence? To be honest, I can't believe you're actually doing this, Mrs. Fay. Your Honor, weren't you the one who almost bought the confession earlier? Fine then, you're accusing Mr. Hosma of murder. Where's your evidence? Oh shit. The cage, obviously. Well, well, well. You almost had me there, Mr. Hazma. However, if you thought you'd be able to fool me with your tricks, you're wrong. What? I'm not sure what's happening right now. I hate you. You killed everything. Fine, I admit defeat, but that's not going to bring them back. Freak. Would ever consider something this ridiculous? Does that mean? Yeah, this was actually supposed to be the big final twist at the end. What? That Raven guy promised this trick is guaranteed to succeed. Oh well. So, is that it? Nope. And again, there's still no way for you to actually prove it. Ah! That much should have been obvious. As far as this court is concerned. You just lost anyway. Well, you were talking in riddles, but it looks like the prosecution won, so guilty. Goddess of Mercy decided to revive you. Death count. Go back to this. Let's look at me. Seriously? Is that your choice? There's no other way. It has to be this person. Look at me. Oh, so that's the great Mia Fey's choice. Look at me. Well, you have to consider that he is the husband of Luna Hadme, with whom the victim had an affair. Oh no, that's quite a motive. We're gonna play with time shenanigans until we figure this out. Congrats, you just screwed up completely. If I remember, you just had to fully retract any assumptions regarding Miss Hadme's potential affair. You are no longer allowed to claim that it actually existed. Therefore, that motive is invalid. However, there's the possibility that Mr. Atme did assume it existed. Regardless of whether there actually was an affair, you could still have assumed it. Yeah, failed to convince us already. Why would he just kill somebody if there's no decisive proof? Even then, there could have been enough vague hints to prompt him to be better safe than sorry. If he would have loved someone else, his position as the CEO was in danger. Wait, what? Who is this new Atme? Explain this to me. Simple. The current CEO of Cool Company. For your information, Mrs. Atme is apparently free to choose the CEO because she is the real owner. I don't know the details, but if she were to change her husband, it'd probably cost him his position. Can you imagine Larry Butts, CEO? Yeah, me neither. That's why I had to make sure Larry wouldn't pass this test. I think we're safest going down the route of acknowledging that Luna is denying that she wrote the challenge letter. Because Mr. Abby could totally have known about this test. You failed. Well then, it had to be him who wrote that challenge in the first place. Okay, now we're onto something. We've still lost. We still have the dead title bar. The dead life bar. To prove. Anyway, I think he had an obvious motive. This is an odd situation. Mrs. Fey, this is your final claim. Beware of the consequences. I will allow you to cross-examine Mr. Atme if you are really certain. However, if you fail to prove his guilt, I will mark you as a C-type attorney. Understood, Your Honor. I won't fail. I know what I'm doing. Hey, Mia, what is this C-type? I've never heard of that. So it has to be something... That has to be something new. Simply put, it's kind of a classification for attorneys. Classified as E-type at the moment, which is pretty much the best one. E comes from Edgeworth, you see? Gregory, I mean. Okay, what's the deal with this C-type? It's the worst of all types, only given to attorneys who randomly accuse everyone and everything. I think Hasba mentioned the finding attorney earlier today. Anyway, my reputation would be ruined. Nobody would dare to hire a C-type attorney. Cheap, 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 cheap. What's that frightened? Did he seriously just poorly imitate a chicken? Won't retract my accusation. Look at me, has to be the culprit. Very well, then. He's called Luke Atme, who I'm sure is already here and waiting to the stand. Now this has to be the truth. There is no other explanation. Wait, why did I think that again? And proving it might be impossible. Well, here we go. Seriously? A magnifying glasses monocle? Also a nice nose. Well, should have expected manners from the prosecutor who called me here. But, it's not like you weren't called to the stand in the end. So what's it gonna be? Are you confessing? Confessing? What exactly? You know, the murder. I mean, Ruby Lady has made some points against you. Thought it's worth a try. Thought it would be a pretty boring ending. A murder? You're accusing me? You're a good actor, I'll give you that. But that reaction is the reaction of a culprit. Mr. Hosmer, aren't you misunderstanding your role? Why am I even trying? Mr. Amty, are you denying having connection to the murder of Mr. Butts? Mr. Butts? Oh, you meant that murder. Obviously not. What did you think we were talking about? I see now. Can you see it too? Can I see what exactly? Absolutely nothing. I do not know that Butts person. I'm the CEO of Cool Company now. What reason would I have to kill a stranger? A full force denial, huh? So that's how you play? Fair enough. I'd still like you to testify about something. What do you want me to help you with? Keep in mind that I am no detective anymore. Just tell us what you know about this murder and what you were doing last night, around midnight. So desperate to find something, huh? Mr. Hosmer, stop applauding! Is that giving the defense so many chances, Judgy? How many witnesses is that now? My autopsy report stunt was nothing in comparison. Therefore, I simply have to... Fine, here, let me leave after that. Luna, darling, is waiting for me. Speaking of, how do these two work together again? Seriously, how would anybody endure those elaborations for more than a day? My non-involvement. I have absolutely nothing to do with this murder. So why am I even here? Quite frankly, this claim is ridiculous. I had no access to the crime scene at any time. For that, I was at Cool Company around midnight. I have an alibi. And I'd love to hear you elaborating on whatever you think would be my motive. What can I say in conclusion? You have absolutely nothing, since I don't have anything to do with this. So can I go now? This has nothing to do with me. Sure, bye. The defense still has their cross-examination. Really now, look, I know you lawyer types like to blame things on random people. However, I would not commit such a crime. It's too primitive. And trust me on that one. If I were to commit a crime, it would be in a way the world would remember, even if I'm caught. I don't think I'd settle for anything less than a truly beautiful, elegant, and perfect crime. Well, way to dig your own grave. I'd like to begin with the cross-examination now. It's denying everything. I just need to find one hole in there. In short, keep attacking until he breaks. Alright. We will see about that. Then why don't you start seeing about that? Why did you interrupt me? You ordered them, aren't you? You ask questions about absolutely everywhere possible. In order to solve a crime, however, you can't just question everything. You have to know what to ask, where to confirm. You also have to realize what is pointless. So, can we proceed now? Stop judging me! She's already desperate, so don't be too harsh with her. That's my job. You just have to find faults in his other statements to prove the existence of a connection. Let's press another useless statement. You heard about the locked room? But I was dragged here by the police thanks to the prosecutor. But actually there was no other available use for my time except following the trial. I could analyze the possibilities. But again, I am no longer a detective. Is it just me or does he like pointing that out a lot? In any case, you should be aware of the fact that I would not have access to any of the keys. Therefore, even accessing the crime scene would have been impossible for me. This is a fair point, but... Is there really no way for him to get into the room? Could he have used... Oh god. The defendant's key? We could have used the defendant's key. Epic fail much. Bible Boy himself said he never gave away that key. And he had it with him all when he was arrested, so... I think you've forgotten your brain in the defendant's lobby. Maybe we should go and fetch it. What about the victim's key? Could have used that to get in. Seriously, how? Think about it for a second. The victim wouldn't just give his key to someone else. And you yourself can confirm that he made it safely into the room. Yes, but maybe the victim let him in. Then we have the issue of how the hell he'd have locked the door afterwards. Ow. I think this was an unreasonable thing to claim. I'm sorry, Mrs. Spade, but we wasted enough time already. Let me just start speeding things up a little. No key at all. Not so fast, that isn't necessarily true. You might have had access to the tower room before the victim presumably locked it. After all, we do not actually know if the door was locked before the victim arrived. Oh, but isn't that assumption rather awkward? How could I have known that someone happened to forget to lock it? Still, it shows that you could have had access. Fair enough, but there would still be no way for me to lock it after the deed. It's entertaining to see what efforts you are putting forward. It doesn't really matter if someone lurked around there beforehand, now does it? Whatever, let's get this over with it. Get to the good part. Oh yeah. We will see about that. And why don't you start seeing about that? Why did you interrupt me? You're one of them, aren't you? You ask questions absolutely everywhere possible. In order to solve a crime, however, you can't just question everything. I might have done this before. I took a break between... I was interrupted, so to speak. You have to know what to ask, where to confirm. You also have to realize what is pointless. So, can we proceed now? He's already desperate, so don't be too harsh with her. That's my job. Guess to find flaws in his other statements to prove the existence of a connection. Okay, you've heard about the locked room. Okay, I think we've been through this. Alright, I would not have access to any of the keys. Yeah. Third key. Oh, bollocks. Let's just move on to asking out your alibi. Really now, I'd like to hear the details of that alibi. To be honest, I find it pretty suspicious that you'd still be working that late at night. Normally, I'd agree with you. However, this was very important. Still, I had to finish checking each department and calculating our profit before the end of the month. That's exactly what I did. I had to walk through the whole building looking at several documents. I can assure you that this took at least 2 hours. I remember shortly before midnight. Even after that, I never left Cool Company until the next morning. But then again, we only have your word for all that. Luna should be able to confirm that I was there shortly before midnight. And seeing how she was in my office, she should have had a nice view of the main entrance. I'll give you that no one else was there to confirm it. Even if Luna saw you near midnight, there was enough time to sneak outside. Oh, you weren't listening, were you? I didn't go through the main entrance after midnight. Luna can probably confirm this. Before you ask, there naturally are other entries. However, to leave the premises, you'd still have to go through the main gate. There are other exits, naturally, but you need a key card for those. Well, I obviously have a key card, but it would leave an entry in the database. Feel free to check that database and you'll see that I haven't used my key card to secretly leave. Not good. It's true that Luna apparently didn't see you leaving, however. What if she's covering for you? Trust me, telling her to keep quiet about something is the worst thing you could possibly do on the planet. If she'd rather really seen me leaving, she wouldn't have been able to resist elaborating on that. Valid point. Quiet. Still, was there really nothing strange in what he just said? As already explained, the affair. What affair? There was no affair. Stop denying it. Even if there wasn't, you might have thought there was. You had to stop Larry from passing that test of courage. Or you wrote that. I thought we were talking about writing the. I thought we were accusing him of writing that letter in Luna's stead. A nice tale, but there is one problem. I didn't even know about that challenge. How could I have known? After all, that letter would have been sent in secret, no? Now I know what you could be assuming in your eagerness. That it was typed, so it could have been you who sent it. Huh? Yeah, I was about to suggest that. Well, then it'll be this. You say that letter was my motive, since there was a chance that Mr. Butts passes the test. But if I was the one who faked the letter, that motive wasn't make sense. So if the affair was real, I couldn't have known about the test. If it wasn't, there goes my motive. Did that flawless logic reach your brain? Is that logic really flawless, or is there still a way to explain how he knew and saw the motive? Why not? Sure. No. There's a way to explain this. All we have to do is look at this from a different angle. Turn around, then! Considering this, the motives could still be functioning. What are we considering? Larry's letter? False. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at me, a fae, presenting trash to the court. This rare species should not be fed with information. It'll only confuse her. The only thing she understands is this. Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Judge, no. There is it. Yes. We're not gonna touch that one. We're making progress here. You're not gonna get away with this. Someone seems to be angered, but I'm really the wrong person to direct it against. Search for a murder somewhere else. Murderer somewhere else. On the defendant's chair, perhaps. Mia, calm down. You won't achieve anything by getting angry here. Think about this calmly. We almost got him. Larry's murderer. I know that. I have to look for holes in his testimony. Threats won't help. Obviously, he's trying to deny everything. Are you sure there's no flaw in what he said? Pressing might help. Thanks for the generic advice, Mr. Ex-Lawyer. Hey, no problem. At least it wasn't cryptic, right? Guess I'll just wait for a chance here. Hey, anything is better than that horrendous testimony from earlier. The answer that got us through this was no key at all. Not so fast. That isn't necessarily true. We might have had access to the tower room, but the victim presumably locked it. After all, we do not actually know if the door was locked before the victim arrived. Oh, but isn't that assumption rather absurd? How could I have known that someone happened to forget to lock it? Still, it shows that you could have had access. Fair enough, but there would still be no way for me to lock it after the deed. It's entertaining to see what efforts you are putting forward. It doesn't really matter if someone lurked around there beforehand, now does it? Whatever, let's get this over with and get to the good part. Why not? See if there's something that can pass this. If it was real, I could have known about the test. If it wasn't, there goes my motive. If we roll back to here... Go around then! That was a good one. Not Larry's letter. Is it the written challenge? False. Don't get crass at me, Firefox. How we knew and still had a motive. Love letters? There we go, love letters. Please remember the letters we found at the trash bin again. I don't really want to remember. Let's keep in mind that they were found at a location Mr. Atney could have checked out of curiosity. And where that way he could have known or thought that there was an affair. In other words, your motive wasn't this test, but simply the affair in general. It doesn't really matter for my case whether it was jealousy or fear of losing your position. Still, that means the test could have been the result of your motive, not the cause. So you're saying I typed out a fake test to lure Mr. Butts to a certain location, right? This is getting interesting. I suppose you have a point there. Whew. It would have been bad if I lost the motive here. It's currently the best I have against him. Yes, the space is covered. What she's covering for you? Solid point. There's really nothing strange about what he just said. The written challenge... the tower room at midnight, stay till 1 a.m. No, that tracks. Unless you want me to present the autopsy report here. Which you could do. What? Godot? Look at me, I'm Godot, and you should penalize the fence. That's one of my rules. How do you know Diego's voice? Observe it. I'd rather not go into detail here, though. There. Did that just spark your curiosity? Admit it, you're just burning to know. Alright, I'll tell you after this penalty. I'm waiting. Just kidding. Too predictable. $9.22. What the wait? The vigil report is from 9:22. The murder was on 9:30. Is that the issue we have here?
Objection!
That is the issue we have here. Mr. Atme. There's something about your testimony that sounded rather wrong to me. Were you really going around to determine the profit you made that month? Yes. Is there a problem with that? I'm just wondering. Randomly indented. Why the date on this report? It shows that it had already been completed on the 22nd of September. Ah! My monocles. Oh, it's already October now. That means it's been complete for a whole week already. You actually remember the date? Yeah, Mr. Atme. Is that a meta gag? Like, you actually figured out the solution? You've been lying to the court. In which case, thank you, I feel smart. Wait, I can explain this.
Objection!
You know what, just shut it. Who cares what he really did there? The alibi is still strong enough. So can we get back to the testimony? Wait, what? No, seriously, how does it matter? Nice job finding it, but it's pointless. I guess he has a point. He didn't leave after midnight, so it doesn't matter what he did there.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter at all. Well, great. That didn't help much. I have the feeling we are not making any progress here. You're late. I mean, that makes how many times? Your Honor, there are several questionable issues in this witness's testimony. To be honest, a lot of them seem rather forced to me. Face it, he couldn't have done it. Mr. Ozma, Mrs. Atme just confirmed again that she did really see Mr. Atme around midnight. Thanks, Luna. Your case just completely collapsed. I must say this was surprisingly fun. A battle of wits. Don't do it. Huh? What's wrong with him now? Anyway, this is bad. However, she also elaborated on the fact that she wouldn't forgive him if he kept secrets from her. She made it quite clear that this is about the uncertain actions of Mr. Atme after midnight. Yeah. Someone is in trouble now. What, are you doing something behind your wife's back as well? That's nothing like what you're trying to imply. So, gonna give us the bitter truth, or risk your relationship, and therefore your position. Both would probably be a relatively entertaining outcome of this trial. You just want to use it. You're gonna use it. Here it goes. And we're going. Zavari. The truth has for once been unelegantly revealed to you. I'm not a detective anymore. Do you have any idea how one is? When watching my deductions, I love being surrounded by chatter. A refined CEO like myself would never act in such a way. Do you have any idea how hard it is? Oh, witness? Seems like everyone today has a secondary crazy mode or something. Kinda hot. I am done with hiding. Done with hiding? Is that a confession? Mia, stop. Zavari, listen before you draw conclusions. I will lay bare the truth about myself. Being forced to be revealed. His darkest secrets. Look at me, the tragic clown. Oh, wow. Someone has tried to be really clever there. So, are we getting another testimony? I'm afraid so, Your Honor. Let's listen to what he has to say. Oh, boy. Look at me. Listen to me. I'm about to explain my actions. I was actually never able to stop being an ace detective. The masses were in need of my genius. What? However, I had to be a proper husband. Thought Luna would never accept me like that. That's why I tried to suppress it, but it didn't work. I had to be a detective. I needed an audience I could impress with my deductions. That's why on certain nights I might pretend to be busy with work so that I could still be one. Regardless, that is all I'm going to confess to. My alibi is still sound, so give up already. Unless you're saying that I could have killed him by sneaking into the tower before midnight. There's no other connection between me and Mr. Butts. I really know nothing else about him. What? The complete pointlessness of this testimony is dazzling. I have the feeling we're going in circles. It's time to finally end this.
Objection!
Your Honor, I still have the right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. You may perform this cross-examination. This is bad to be an understatement now. Hey, Mia! Mia, are you there? What do you want? As you probably realize, those are pretty bad chances, but there might be a way to overcome this obstacle. It's about as risky. Maybe the only way. What are you trying to tell me? Ever heard of... You can fuck right off with that one. Super objections? This isn't a fighting game. You are aware of that fact, right? It's a legendary technique I came up with. In that case, it can't be a good idea to rely on it now. No, I've actually tried this several times. Those attempts ended horribly, but it should still be theoretically possible. I think Edgeworth actually succeeded doing it once, and a few other lawyers. Basically, you present multiple pieces of evidence at the same time in a testimony. Quite handy if one piece of evidence alone doesn't seem quite decisive enough. So that's what you meant by super objections. I've done that several times. What? That's my technique. Do you really think it required that much skill to realize it's possible to do something like this? It's not like somebody could stop you if your argument is only sound with multiple pieces. Yeah, but I don't know. I felt like I was physically unable to do it until... Whenever I got it. That might be a useful idea here, especially since I only have one shot. But I do have to be careful. Presenting too many pieces of evidence would backfire. Don't focus only on the pieces that are necessary to show my point. It won't be accepted. After all, a C-type attorney would probably just present the whole court record at once. Problems over there. What's the matter? Scared? Ready now. Start the cross-examination. We better not. Let's do a fucking super objection. Fucking hell. But we have the downside of this era of bad games. The fucking super objection. Let's super object here. God, I hate this. Why weren't you telling us the truth before? I was about to explain that. May I go on? Not so fast. It doesn't matter. You can't just lie on the stand. You are implying that I lied because I'm in fact the culprit. You can bet on it. Shh! Silence! Interesting. Well, that's how it is. It's all becoming clear. What exactly? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? Well, yeah, you're wrong. What the? Do you expect to actually be able to guess something like that correctly? No. Phoenix? What's wrong? Nothing. It's his report card. I see, it must have been the influence of your friend over there, then. In any case, you are too quick to judge me. May I proceed? Sure, let's hear it. Oh god. How do you mean that exactly? You were an ace detective. Zavari. The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to myself. A lawyer. A pianist in a Russian restaurant which was also playing poker matches in an underground room. A judge. And well, wait, no. Got a problem? Come on, if you want to play detective, do it properly. What kind of... A ghost that would cease to exist if people forgot about him? Wait, he read Hosmer correctly? Oh, wow. I have no freaking clue how you came up with that. Anyway, I used to be a detective. Solving crimes, hunting thieves. A lot of things. Don't you remember the newspapers? I was on the front page once. They were saying that you enjoyed receiving that sort of confirmation of your abilities. Exactly. I wanted more people to acknowledge my genius. What is money compared to fame? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What is your money worth in the end? Fame will make you immortal. Money won't. Make some sort of point there. Let's proceed. I see what you mean, I think. Elaboration. Elaborations. My Luna is a walking history book. However, the feeling when she elaborates about me is uncomparable. However, as the CEO, there are certain duties. You can't just work as a detective at the same time. I'm sure when she's gotten to know of my desire, she'd have tried to do it all by herself. That's surprisingly considerate. She'd have tried to run the company by herself, so... you could do more detective things? I suppose that is considerate. I'm more and more confused about whether those two are a working couple or not. In a weird way, they are. Sorry, that's why I prefer not to tell her about this one thing. This is just weird. Really? I felt like this was a silence. You have no idea what pain I, Luke Acme, had to endure. A god isn't a god without people to worship him. The same applies to a genius. Do I have to elaborate? Yes, actually. Nobody was baffled anymore. Because there was no one to baffle. My wife is a star for herself. It's hard even for me to actually impress her. No one. There was no one there. You know, I can't quite agree with that. People loving you? People acknowledging you? What the crap? You have to make them be mad at you. Make them hate you, despise you. That's the way. Hey, just because you subsist on that stuff, Hosmer, even that would have been fine with me, as long as they'd still acknowledge my great genius. There we go. Now you're starting to understand. These two are actually getting somewhat along? Didn't see that one coming. Why exactly? Me and Fate, you apparently didn't hear his exclamation over the sound of me being more awesome than you. Yeah. Isn't this ADHD syndrome pretty self-explanatory anyways? Survive. The excited chatter when I made a deduction nobody else considered. I love it. Elegantly revealing the solution and demonstrating my genius. That is what I live for. My one wish, my one desire. Nobody would just have listened to... Oh god, it's fast to actually read. There. How is this not self-explanatory? Point taken. Okay, and what exactly would you do? Simple. It isn't that easy to just find a mystery without leaving the company. I use a laptop to play detective games on the internet. I'm quite famous on several pages as Detective Zavari 84. Detective games on the internet? Indeed. You know the one where each person gets assigned a role? It's quite thrilling trying to deduce and lynch the criminals. Oh, you're playing Mafia. Or Town of Salem. Or if this game was made, if this game was made within the last 2 years, you know what else Luke Acme would be playing, don't you? Let's just say he would be very sus. course, I am always the detective, regardless of what the game is trying to make me believe. So you were secretly having this hobby, and that's what you did yesterday as well. I'm afraid you are quite mistaken, Mrs. Fay. I did nothing of the sort yesterday. What? Why are you explaining all this to us, then? I believe what you meant to say is that I did this today, seeing how I didn't start before midnight. Fine, if you want to be that way. You're still claiming that's what you were doing, right? That's what I was doing. My colleagues, Perot 91, Philo, and Sherlock Butler will be able to confirm that I was online. Who'd have thought that an alibi would actually get even more solid? Well, fine. Move on. Dang it, is there really nothing wrong with this testimony? How is it still? This music is so fucking loud. I have it tuned down in OBS. It's probably still coming through loud in OBS. I have it tuned down significantly there, but it's still, I can hardly hear myself talk. This in my ears. No, I can't even ask that question. It is still sound. Problem? By the way, of course we checked that keycard database stuff. There's nothing wrong there. I'm afraid it's absolutely, definitely, categorically impossible for him to be the murderer. Oh, what are you gonna do now? You only have one chance to somehow prove stuff. Enjoy getting marked as one of the worst attorneys in town. Murder should have taken place 52 minutes after midnight. His alibi is perfect. There's no way he was at the church at that time. So, how? Stop thinking, Leah. There should be a way. Even if it's just a really rough guess. I wonder. Did you figure something out? I had an idea there for a second. I'm not sure it actually worked, but... darn it. Anything would be fine. This is the point we're gonna have to press. We're gonna have to use, aren't we? No, you're not really actually going to suggest something like that, are you? I mean, that would be the crime of the century. The most ingenious alibi of all time. But no, from what I know about the case, this is completely out of the question. Please do not make a fool out of yourself by trying to prove me wrong. No, please try. Please make a fool out of yourself. It's not like I could think of a way. No other connection. I never met that man. Are you absolutely sure? I, look at me, have absolutely no connection to Mr. Larry Butts. Nothing at all. Stop bluffing. I don't know him. So aside from that affair issue, there's nothing else connecting you to Larry Butts. Is that so? The Fed break just asked the same question 4 times just now. So stay. Witness already answered. You will cease this line of questioning. Understood. I don't think I can find anything else. God, that's be a way to get past an alibi, right? I wonder. Yes? Oh, nothing. Just wondering about something we heard earlier today. Well, obviously I have to use something that was mentioned earlier. Would you stop having all those weird hunches today and actually think of something concrete? Hey, don't blame me. This is my job. Alright, let's think. So, super objection. What piece of evidence do I want to present? We're going to start with the cage. Time for us to figure out what's in the cage. Is that all, or do I need more? Add more evidence. We're going to use the business report. We're going to figure out what's in the cage. An objection. And now, we'll see you next video.